Though economists suggest that if the indirect taxes are to be reduced, the state-owned enterprises have to be at a non-loss-making state. Corruption at the CEB causes the burden to be placed on the general public.
The CEB purchases a unit of electricity at 28 rupees from a privately owned power plant in Ambilipitia. That same unit is sold to the consumer at 16 rupees. Though the CEB incurs a loss, that loss too is transferred to the general public.
As per the long-term generation plan created to provide electricity at a lower cost, there have been no new power plants constructed in the country after the year 2014. The CEB purchases electricity from private power plants to supply electricity to the people. That too is done violating the legal framework of the country. As per the Lanka Electricity Act, when power is purchased, the proper tender process should be adhered to. An emergency power purchase without calling for tenders can only be carried out when the country is facing a national disaster situation or when a major power plant malfunctions over a long period of time. That process too requires cabinet approval. The CEB has not adhered to any of the above when purchasing electricity from the private power plant in Ambilipitia. The agreement with the power plant, which generates 100 megawatts, expired in the year 2015. A unit has been purchased from this particular plant at 28 rupees. Though the agreement with the power plant had lapsed, it has been decided to purchase electricity from it for a period of 3 years from the 5th of April 2018. During a time when the country was not facing a natural disaster or at a time when none of the power plants were malfunctioning over a long period of time, the approval for this has been sought after providing various documents to the Cabinet of Ministers. The decision was taken when the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka, or the PUCSL, has informed that it would violate the legal framework of the country. When the PUCSL is taking steps to put a stop to these corrupt activities, the Engineers Union of the CEB is demanding that officials of the Commission be changed. One of the witnesses of the agreement reached with the Ambilipitia Power Plant, Assistant General Manager PLG Karyavasam, is an active member of the Engineers Union of the CEB. The approval of the Constitutional Council is sought when appointing members to the PUCSL, which is the regulator of the Ceylon Electricity Board. A parliamentary approval is required if they are to be transferred or removed before the end of their tenure. Is the Engineers Union of the CEB campaigning to remove officials of the PUCSL because they take a strong stance against the corruption? Why is the subject minister, Ranjit Siambalapitia, keen to seek cabinet approval for arbitrary proposals? Ostriches bury their heads hoping it will make them invisible. The general public understand what these politicians are doing, thinking they are invisible. Through scams of this nature that are similar to the infamous bond scam, the people of the country continue to be burdened.
The investigative journalism practiced by Newsfirst is fully backed by unimpeachable evidence that will stand the scrutiny of any fit and proper court of law. The Newsfirst ethos is to bring to the notice of the public information that is of significant value, especially in matters that affect the day-to-day living of the population. The power and energy sector is easily the most critical area affecting, as it does, many sectors, leisure, tourism industries and so on. Team Newsfirst is confident in the extreme that every report carried by us in whichever medium is for the betterment of our country. In the event there are ministers and others in authority or otherwise who wish to challenge the Newsfirst reporting in this sector, we are ready to accept the challenge and we make available our platform without fear.